So Postman for API testing. So Postman is a tool which I used in one of my projects for testing API. So this is what I'll be covering in the talk. So first, what is Postman? And then how to install Postman and Newman. And then can we create test suites in Postman? Of course, I'm going to show you a demo of how we create it, and also how to create multiple environments to test each scenarios, and also run test suite in Postman for all test cases and or selected test cases within the Postman. And also you can use command line interface tool, which is Newman, and you can cases. And finally, you can integrate Postman to a CI/CD tool, which I use TeamCity for my project. So I'll be covering all these topics. So first, what is a Postman? Postman is an API platform for building and using APIs. Postman simplifies. This is a Postman definition, which is given by the Postman tool. But in my project, we used it mainly for testing. So API was built using Azure resources, and Postman was used for testing the endpoints. So you can also check there is a website link where you can see what Postman is. It also has an API platform, but we didn't use it. It was mostly used for testing the endpoints. Next, so how you install Postman? Postman is a free tool available online. You can download it, and you can start using it instantly with your any account that you have, Gmail account or whatever account you have. And Newman, again, if you have Node.js installed, then Newman is pretty easy to download. So that's how you download Postman. So next is, can we create test suites in Postman? So how you create a test suite is like, first you create a new workspace, and then in that workspace you create collections, and in that collection you create requests like get, put, post requests, and then you can create an environment to call all these requests and get the response, and then you can parameterize it by setting an environment variable and adding the data to it, and then you add the endpoints, run it, and find the response. So let me quickly go to Postman to show you. So this is a set of test cases that I have created. So this is a project where the developers created 4 APIs: the proposal, the bid, offer, and contract APIs. So for each APIs, I created a test scenario for it. And here you can see like these are the scenarios. So first scenario is like returns proposal for valid authentication and all these scenarios. Now I'm going to explain how I created all this. So it's basically you create a collection. So here you go create new collection. So I'm going to show you. You just click on this, you get a new collection, and then within this you can add a new folder. So you can name this folder, say, so this is a new workspace. Okay, so you name the folder, and then in this you can add requests. You can have get requests, or you can have like, you can choose post request based on what is needed, and then here you enter the endpoint, and then you send and you get the response over here. So that's how I created all this. And the workspace that I said, so first step is create a workspace. So the workspace, you have to go here and create workspace, and within, this is my workspace I have created within a team. So this is a team workspace. So I created team workspace, and in the team workspace I created all these collections. So you can have a number of collections, and within the collection you create a folder like this. Like I separated it as 4 APIs, 4 scenarios, and within the 4 scenarios, so within this API I have like, these are the scenarios that I'm going to cover, and in this, these are my steps. So this is my first step, this is my second step, then third step, and fourth step. So these are the steps. So I have written a documentation for it, so it is easy for the users to use it. Others, even if I'm going back and coming back, I can see what I'm going to do. So given the bearer token is authorized as a BBC PS user, when the BBC PS user requests for the details of proposal created by BBC PS user with GET request, then the details of the proposal is authenticated to view. So there is a view condition we have. So this is my first step, and then the second step. So let me show you how it is. So this is my environment variable. When I post a request, so when I post a request, I get a token here. So I write a test case to get that set an environment variable called bearer token. So every time this keeps changing because it expires in 3599 milliseconds. So I have to capture this every time, and then I write it into a variable, which is here. So that is captured by the next test step. Next step is I have to get the proposal for BBC users. So I get that. So I need to run this again. I'm sorry, I'm running the wrong one. Second. Yeah. And then I get the response here. So this is the response. And for this, I wrote a bit of test script here, which is pretty simple. Even anybody can start write these test scripts. This is using JavaScript. So you have some snippets over here, ready-made snippets. You can use these. So I have used most of from here. So you need not have, if you have some background of JavaScript or you don't have background, you still can use Postman because you have these snippets over here. So what I'm doing is I'm parsing the response, and then I am verifying all these data. So this particular, so attributes dot record type name should be BBC because that is very important for me to authenticate, and it should be equal to FPI 1018372. The FPI ID should be equal to this, and then the record type name, which should be equal to this. So that I'm verifying, and then my test results pops up here. So this is for verifying one particular test scenario. You can verify while creating these test cases. So all have passed now. So the next step is like I have done on top of it, I have written a template, which CSS template. This I just copy pasted it, and this part I have written it to capture those, to visualize the data in a like an Excel format, like this. So these are the data which will be helping me to quickly verify certain things. But here there is only one idea I am picking up. So when I do like a list of proposals, it is really very easy for me to get a list of proposals created, and I get like 10 requests for that. So when I visualize it, I get a very nice, so it is easy for me to verify all these titles and all the proposal IDs. So this, you can use it if you want to. I used it because it was very useful for me to test when I wanted to test it manually. So I use this as part of my test case. So like that, I have created for each and everything. So you can also create and use all these. So this is helping you to get an environment variable. I create all these environment variables there, so it can change. So you need not change it in the endpoint. You have to change it in the environment. So that is it. So I have, so what I wanted to cover was how you create a workspace. So workspace is sales facade, and how you create a collection. So these are all called as collections. And within a collection, you can create a folder, and within a folder, you can create another folder based on your requirement. And then within a folder, you create whatever request. So I have here, this is a post request, this is a get request. You can also have multiple requests, but the requirement here was mostly read only. So I have done based on what the requirement was. So this is how you create Postman scenarios. And then also I covered about how you create environments. So I have multiple environments to use. So I'm currently using the test automation stage V2. So this many environments I can create to verify all the test cases. So that's one. Next. So this, so how I create a new workspace, then I create a collection, and then under that you can create a folder, and under that create request, or you can directly create request and then create environment. You can create n number of environments and then add parameters and endpoints. So this is how we create a test suite and for testing. Then I have explained about the multiple environment as well. Um, um, then run test suite in Postman for all test cases or selected test cases. I ran and showed you like for one test cases. Let me show you for all the test case. So there is something called as run collection. So if you click on that, you can run all the test cases. So you just have to click on this, and then it will give you the full list of pass and fail. So you can see how many has failed and how many has passed. So this, and also it will tell you like what was the failure thing. So expected was this, but it was equal to this. The expected was this and it was equal. So it gives you a good summary and what was the assertion point of error. So that kind of summary you get. So I stop running, and then let's go back to the slide again. And so the next part is run test cases using Newman. So as I told you, it's a command line interface tool. So I have already downloaded Newman. So it's a very simple command that you have to use. It is npm install -g and Newman. So I ran this already, but I would love to show you how to do this. Just in case, I just tried it before coming here. Yeah, so let me. So this will run the collection. So what you do is basically there is a, so in Postman, if you go here, you can export this collection. So if you click on export, and I have exported the collection to here, I have exported the collection here, and also I have exported the environment. So basically I have exported collection and environment here. I have saved it here, and now I'm calling it in that same C drive users and into my folder, and then I say Newman run this particular collection -e environment.json, and then I want a nice report to show to my manager that this is what I have got, how many errors I've got, and how many has passed and failed. So I click on enter, and this will run the complete it, and gives a nice report. So once it is finished, so it will run completely, and then it will go and store it, and then you can see that report. So I have already done this, you can see here. So this is how it will be running, and it will save in that folder, same folder. So it will create a folder, and it gets saved like this. So I can till it loads, I can show you the one that I did before, this one. So you can see here. Yeah, so totally I did one iteration, so you can do as many iteration as you want. And then it tells me there are 710 assertions, out of which 34 has failed. And it tells me what has failed. The same way like that we saw in Postman, you get a nice report here. And then you get a summary as well. So what were the file information, what are the scenarios covered, and how long it has taken. Also you how long it has taken, you get some information like that. And also the fail test, which is very important for us to see what has failed. So this kind of information you get. So that is so this is the help of Newman. And the last part I wanted to cover was the CI/CD tool. Now that we know how to use Newman, you have to create some steps in TeamCity. So let me show you. I will just share whatever I did for my project. So this is what I did for my project. I need to create some steps for, so I created, so this is my a new project. So I create Postman test. In that, I'm instructing where my folder artifact path is, and then where is the next one? Then I give the build steps. So first build step is it needs to have Node.js, and then npm. It needs to install npm, and if we have npm, then it needs to install Newman, and then I create. Then I asked. I mean, the next step will be like create the globally the Newman reporter, and then it creates the Newman installs the, sorry, not creates, installs the Newman reporter, and then you get the get something like this. What I was showing you. Um, yeah. So this is so every time I click on it, this will run completely. So you need to set it up. You need to set the commands, and it will go and run, and you will get this information. So you get like 173 tests passed and all the information. So that's how you connect it finally to the command interface tool.